So Keith, thanks so much for spending time with me today.
Of course.
So let's kind of start at the beginning. Why moldings?
Yeah, finishing a home with molding was purely functional at first. If you don't finish the interior, you have a lot of drafting, right? There's a lot of drafted air moving through the house, and also to finish off the irregularities that happen in construction. Something you might well know as the builder's secret, when you ideally think that the room is square and everything is perfectly plumb. It's not necessarily the case, and so the best way to finish off corners and edges is to add on various forms of molding.
But it evolved from there.
It did indeed, very much so.
Why all the varied patterns? They're so diverse.
Yeah. First of all, was functionally what was happening in the environment of that particular climate, what was happening in the temperament of society, what was an aesthetic popularity. Those things started becoming something of a vernacular in various regions across the United States. And that's inspired by human creativity and how trend and society communicate what might be defined as beautiful at any given time in history. For example, everybody relates to the White House, right? And that's white millwork and trim. So it's something about that coloration that is so reflective of the architecture itself rather than any of the ornamentation on it. Let the beauty of the architecture speak. And the White House is very indicative of that era, with our beautiful colonnade wrapped around a porch, and the symmetry of windows, top and bottom, and a simplified style, lovely entablatures and other language of that particular style. Then again, it's more of a romantic style for Seattle specifically. There was this embrace of Greek architecture, Greek and Roman style architecture with very true pediments and capitals and frameworks that were very specific to historic periods from centuries and centuries past. Appropriated then into styles revived again centuries before the Americas were settled. And so to have a grand home here after you've survived the log cabin and the raid and the negotiations for land and whatever else, if you found yourself with wealth, you found yourself in a style that was brought over on the Mayflower even. And it was very stately for public structures to have that power and that strength that particular architectural style offered, and just its presence is very powerful and stately, and loveliness that's very pure to a style that's not indigenous to kind of what Seattle has crafted for itself. So it's really important to have the features in the design center here that show 2 or 3 or 4 different ways that can be interpreted when you're wanting to embellish what might have been oversimplified by a production builder in your home. If you really want to make it flourish, you would come in here and embellish with the glorious millwork designs that you can put together through the products you have here. And you'll see now today people who will choose, really, and that's what's beautiful about having this design showroom, is that they can step in and go, oh, I see that flat stock, I don't really like that. Oh, hey, look over here, this one has an interesting little crown detail on the top of my flat stock that gives it just enough extra that would be fine in taste without going overboard, or whatever it might be. People will reinvent their spaces, but they can do it very tastefully because we have a lovely story to tell for them here. So as a designer, I'm very confident in what I would want to specify for the creation of the interior of a home. If I'm coming to Dunn Lumber like I should, how best would I be prepared? What should I bring with me to be able to know confidently that I'm going to be purchasing the right materials?
In the case of not really knowing what the style is, if we had some pictures of the outside of their home, and some interior pictures, and also some of the dimensions. We like to know the ceiling height, door height, so that we know kind of what we're working with, so that we can scale it to fit that customer's desires.
Right. It's important to see it and feel it and get a sense experientially in a 3-dimensional environment how to put these things together.
That's very helpful. Thank you.
Yeah.